right, Oluwemimo Osanipin is the Director General, National Automotive Design and Development Council of Nigeria. He joins me now to shed more light on the future of Nigeria's automotive industry and its ambition. Thanks very much, Oluwemimo, for joining us. I mean, 25th Motor Fair in Nigeria, and you thought that you'd have been seeing motors, cars manufactured in Nigeria, the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, and the Porsches, and the rest. But what did the 25 years of this fair really bring out for the Nigerian automobile industry?
Okay, you mentioned 25 years, and when the fair started, 100% of the vehicles that were on display were imported. So it means there have been steady growth, because to this last one, close to 80% of the vehicle, I don't just want to say 100%, of the vehicle on display were assembled in Nigeria, about 80%. So what that means is that we've been having steady growth. Within the 25% from displaying every 100% foreign to gradually adding Nigerian made or Nigerian assembled vehicle. And that what were on display there were not all the assembler were not even present. We say have one of the major one not there as at that time. Renault was not there as at that time, and it's one of the leading assembler in Nigeria. So when you get there, when you see what was on display, a lot of people were surprised that these people were making this vehicle. Sometimes you see some of those vehicles on the road, but they don't know they were assembled in Nigeria, and that's why we organize that type of fair, so that we want to show to Nigerians what is available, what are the opportunities, what are we doing, what can we do better. And this is why we have this kind of fair.
Your branding doesn't seem loud enough, you know. Nigerians don't really know. If Nigerians don't know, how would your neighbors know where, you know, you can supply them either CKDs, completely knocked down parts and the rest, you know, that you tell us now, I mean, is becoming almost 80% of the components of vehicles manufactured in Nigeria.
I didn't say component. I say 80% of the vehicle on display in that fair. Yeah. So we have not gotten to the point where we have.
How many? Yeah, because I was coming to that question. Well, what stage would you now say that the Nigerian auto policy is? What progress have we really made? If we look at the totality of a car and you say, just like a Mercedes that has 54 different parts, so the car in Nigeria, what percentage components does Nigeria contribute to? Okay,
depend on the type of vehicle.
Take the list.
Let me pick them one after the other.
Okay.
If you look at those luxury buses assembled by or manufactured by Innocent, I use the word manufacture because he built those ones from the scratch.
Engine.
You know, well, engine, most often, major OEM have supplier that provide them engine. Even the Mercedes, the one you mentioned. Yeah. So the same way, Innocent to ask his own people that provide, the partner that provide the engine, but getting the engine and then the other, he built them from the scratch. So in that, you can say the local component of that one is over 50%. But again, there are some that were assembled, not manufactured. So it means the component of those one will be as low as 10%. So that's why I said depend on the type you are looking at. And when you are looking at
give and take, electric, I mean, for Nigerians to understand in very clear language from the DG automotive industry, is that Nigeria's local component contribution in car or vehicle manufacturing is no less than 50%, right?
No, it's less than 50%. It's between 10 to 15%.
10 to 15%.
15%. Okay. So that's what we are, because of some that already have above 50, and there are some that have less than 10%. So when you aggregate them together and look for the average, this is where we are. That is why we are pushing more for local component development. And as at today, we are discussing with Ackman, that is auto component manufacturers, and we have identified their problem and we are discussing with them. We have identified what each one can produce at comparative advantage, and we are supporting them to do that. So in the next 2-3 years, we are going to have a tremendous growth in the percentage of component contribution to a vehicle in Nigeria.
Can I quickly ask you, whatever happened, to then Nigeria used to have Leland in Ibadan, government-owned, Ster in Bauchi, government-owned, the one in Enugu, Alamco and the rest, Anamco, yeah.
And National Truck in Kano.
And National Truck in Kano. Is your agency reviving them? Is the federal government trying to resuscitate them, or they are gone forever? Okay,
for example, Peugeot, we have Dangote Peugeot.
That's bought that one over, yeah.
Yes, and we have Pan Nigeria. So those ones are still functioning. And we have Anamco, which another company has invested heavily in, and they are trying to resuscitate. So that one is also up. Still, the state government is interested, and some other partner, to also resuscitate. We are working with them in that regard to also resuscitate that. While for National Truck, we supported them in raising some fund, and we are still on that one also. So all of them are getting attention from us. But apart from this, there are some that started in the last 10 years. When you talk of the Innocent, the Nord, the Jet, the GAC, the Meccano, all this one, Land Institute, they have really improved in the last 10 years. So those ones are also there, and they are producing, and they are even producing more than the one you mentioned now. And don't forget that we have Dangote Sinotro that is also producing what Leyland and what National Truck were producing then, which we are producing a truck or heavy duty vehicles.
Well, kudos, to your agency and the support services you give to these auto manufacturing companies. But we talked about the capacity of the local content is just between 10 and 15% on the average, and the rest. The pricing is another big issue. It's beyond the reach of even the average Nigerian, if there is any statistics engaging who the average Nigerian is now.
Okay, it's not the pricing of Nigerian assembled vehicle that is just, I don't want us to pick that one as what is high. Even if you bring a new vehicle from Japan, from China, from US, the price is also high. It's of the same price. So it is what the economy is saying. It's not that local assembled vehicles are costlier. Rather, they are even cheaper when you compare them to those ones that are being imported. So that is the reality. But the difference between Nigeria and some other countries, why they will be able to buy those new vehicles, is because of efficient credit, consumer credit that is available. And that is what this Renew Hope agenda is targeting. You see, this present government has come up with credit call, and this credit call is focusing on stimulating demand by providing credits to support the consumer who want to buy Nigerian goods. Not only auto, but they take auto as one of their priority area. Credit card take auto as one of the priority area because we need more funds to go to financing auto. What to go to financing also be in trillions, and government alone cannot do that. We need financial institutions to come in. We need finance, because you go to most of this country, the financial institutions are the one providing the credit for individual to buy a motor vehicle. Here in Nigeria, we buy motor vehicle by 100% cash down. It's not done anywhere in the world. So you can buy vehicle in other country with only 10% equity contribution, and that's what we are pushing for. That's where we want to get to in Nigeria. And with credit core, with credit core and the support they are getting, and the strategy they are put in place to increase their funding, so Nigeria will be able to get to that point. So it is, just to emphasize it again, it is not the made in Nigerian vehicle that are that expensive. Every other new vehicle is expensive, is high at that level.
Okay, before we let you go, quickly tell Nigerians, what are your medium-term plans for the National Automotive Design and Development Council? Let's look at the next 5 years or 10 years, because you might not be there for another 10 years. And if governance is a continuum, you'd expect that that plan will go through. So the first 5 years.
Okay, the first one is to ensure that the policy is turned to law. So we have a policy that we are working with, but we want it to be, it to be a act of parliament for some specific reason, because of the fund involved in auto. For you to promote auto, for you to be able to be a big player in auto, it requires huge fund, and that means that we want to give comfort.
Where is the Bank of Industry
here? We want to give comfort, and I'm coming. We want to give comfort to the investor, one. And the second one is the availability of funds. That's what you are mentioning now. Bank of Industry have been so supportive. They have been, most of our players borrow fund or borrow money from Bank of Industry, and they have been supportive. And I've taken a lot of component development and players as well as assembler to back of the north for support. And then part of what we are trying to do also is to ensure, just as I mentioned, we increase the percentage of local content into a vehicle. In the next few years, you will see that what we are doing in that regard. And apart from that, what other thing we are doing is capacity building. We want Nigeria, we want the technicians to be equipped with latest technology, not only with the tools, but they know the application of those tools. And that's why we are doing the training we are doing across the country, training them, letting them know the new technology and exposing them to those technology and providing tools so that apart from acquiring the technology, they will have the tool to
Are you synergizing with some of Nigeria's higher institutions, the polytechnics, for examples, the technical schools, you know, in providing this kind of support services?
A lot. If you go to Osogbo, we have a facility inside their technical school in Osogbo. If you go to Lagos, we have one in Lagos State School, University of Science and Tech. And if you go to Calabar, if you go to Katsina, we have. If you go to Bayero, we have. And in Gombe College of Education also, we have. So we have it across the country. We are working with them, we are partnering with them. And not only that, the university, we have a competition running currently in the university where we ask the universities, 12 universities, two in each geopolitical zone, where they design what we call electric bus, that is campus electric shuttle bus. So that is what they've designed it. And we want them now to produce. We have tech, they are working with assembler, they are working with a lot of assemblers that are going to guide them. And based on what they are brought together, these assemblers are now going to use it to mass produce. This is what we are working on. We want them to identify those components within Nigeria. And you need to see what they design. Brilliant one coming from our universities. We are encouraging them to do that. Fantastic. We also work with some Nigerians. We have someone, Labat in Akure, who have built...
I'm so sorry. No Oluwemimo or Osanipin, with that we'll have to go now. But thanks for shedding a lot of light on the development of the auto industry in Nigeria. Oluwemimo Osanipin is the Director General, National Automotive Design Development Council of Nigeria. Thanks so very much for coming on.